Have you ever wondered what it really takes to make great things happen in your life? It's not about luck. It's not about waiting for others to change. It's about becoming the kind of person who creates change from within. In a world filled with distractions, uncertainty, and pressure to constantly do more, Stoicism offers something powerful: clarity, inner strength, and peace of mind. This video is not just another motivational talk. It's a practical guide to transforming your mindset, mastering your emotions, and focusing on what truly matters. Today, you'll discover 13 Stoic principles, timeless wisdom that helps you stay grounded, resilient, and intentional, even when life feels overwhelming. These aren't just ideas from ancient philosophers. They are tools you can use right now to overcome stress, fear, and self-doubt. Because the truth is, your life doesn't change when things go your way. It changes when you change. If you're ready to unlock the power that already lives inside you, to turn your desires into action and your challenges into strength, then stay with us until the end. And if this message resonates with you, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. You might just find the wisdom you've been looking for. Let's begin. Secret 1. Focus only on what you can control. In the chaos of today's world, one timeless truth stands firm. Peace begins when you stop trying to control what you never could. We live in an age of constant stimulation, breaking news, shifting economies, social comparison, and a million things outside our reach. No wonder anxiety has become a global epidemic. But the Stoics figured out something powerful, something we've forgotten. You suffer not because of what happens, but because of your desire for things to go a certain way. Let that sink in. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." So ask yourself, can I control this situation? If the answer is no, then let it go. If the answer is yes, then take action, wisely and calmly. Imagine how your life would change if you stopped trying to control how others think, how fast results come, or how the world reacts to your efforts. Instead, you poured all that energy into what you can control: your mindset, your habits, your words, your character. That's where your true power lies. When something goes wrong, don't say, "Why is this happening to me?" Say, "How can I respond with strength and clarity?" That small shift in thinking is life-changing. This isn't about passivity. It's about precision, at choosing where to aim your limited time, energy, and attention, and refusing to waste them on the uncontrollable. This principle is like armor in today's world. When people criticize you, let go. When plans change, adapt. When life disappoints you, stand firm. You're not avoiding reality, you're owning your role in it. Control your reactions and you control the outcome. And in doing so, you'll begin to unlock something deeper than just success. You'll find peace, you'll find resilience, you'll find yourself. Stoicism teaches us freedom isn't the absence of chaos, it's the ability to remain calm within it. So starting today, give yourself permission to stop chasing what you cannot control and start building the life you can. Secret 2. Practice gratitude like a warrior. Gratitude may sound soft in a world that rewards hustle, ambition, and competition. But don't be mistaken. Gratitude is not weakness. It is a stoic weapon, one that clears your mind, strengthens your heart, and centers your soul. In a world where people chase more success, more recognition, more validation, those who practice gratitude become unshakable. Why? Because they already recognize the value in what they have. Epictetus once said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." Imagine waking up each day and instead of thinking, "What's missing?" you ask, "What is already here that I've been overlooking?" This mindset changes everything. Suddenly, your relationships become richer. Your work becomes meaningful. Your ordinary day becomes a miracle. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means you face them from a place of abundance, not emptiness. It trains your mind to spot the good, amidst the chaos, to recognize beauty even in difficulty. Try this each morning. Write down 3 things you're thankful for, no matter how small: a breath, a sunrise, a lesson learned the hard way. This simple act shifts your entire emotional baseline. You stop reacting, you start responding from a place of strength, not scarcity. In a Stoic sense, gratitude is not a luxury. It's a discipline. It's how we anchor ourselves in the now, rather than drifting into the regrets of yesterday or the anxieties of tomorrow. And here's the secret most people miss. Gratitude expands what you're capable of receiving. When you appreciate what you already have, you stop chasing validation. You stop needing the world to give you joy because you're already creating it inside. Gratitude also makes you a better leader, partner, creator, and friend. Because when people feel seen and appreciated, they trust you. They're drawn to you. Because deep down, we're all just searching for someone who notices. So if you want to transform your life, don't start with goals. Start with gratitude. It's free, it's powerful, and it's available right now. Remember, a grateful heart is a fortress, and in a noisy world, it's your quiet strength that will set you apart. Secret 3. Know yourself relentlessly. In a world that constantly tells you who to be, one of the most rebellious and empowering acts is this. Know yourself deeply, relentlessly. The Stoics weren't obsessed with controlling the outside world. They were obsessed with understanding the inner one. Because once you understand your thoughts, your patterns, and your triggers, you gain the power to shape your response, your growth, and your life. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." But how would you know unless you observe your own mind? Most people live reactively. Something happens, they explode, withdraw, blame, or numb. But the Stoic doesn't just feel. They watch the feeling. They investigate it. They ask, where did that come from? What belief created this emotion? Is it helpful? Is it even true? Self-knowledge isn't about overthinking. It's about clarity, about getting so honest with yourself that you begin to see the difference between instinct and wisdom, between ego and truth. Here's how to start. Journal daily. Write not for perfection, but for insight. Ask, what did I do well today? What did I avoid? What am I afraid to admit to myself? Sit in silence, even just 5 minutes. Turn down the noise of the world so you can hear the signal of your soul. Challenge your assumptions. Whenever you think I can't, ask, is that fact or fear? In the modern world, self-awareness is a superpower. Because if you don't know yourself, you'll be manipulated by everything: opinions, trends, fears, even your own emotions. But when you do know yourself, you become the calm in the storm. You speak with clarity, you act with purpose, you fail with grace and rise with insight. Self-knowledge also leads to self-compassion. You realize you're not broken, you're becoming. And with every moment of reflection, you return to the driver's seat of your life. Remember, you cannot master your world until you understand your mind. And in understanding your mind, you unlock the door to wisdom, discipline, and freedom. This is your mirror. Look into it every day and meet the person you were always meant to become. Secret 4. Turn fear into fuel. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is a messenger, a signal, a teacher. And in the Stoic mindset, fear is not something to be avoided. It's something to be transformed. We live in a time when fear is everywhere. Fear of failing, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough. But here's the truth the Stoics live by. You don't overcome fear by avoiding it. You overcome it by walking through it, with your eyes open. Seneca once wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." And he was right. Fear thrives in speculation, but weakens in the face of preparation and purposeful action. So how do you turn fear into strength? Step 1. Name it. Most people feel anxiety but never ask themselves what they're really afraid of. Once you name it, "I'm afraid of rejection," or "I'm afraid of losing control," you take away its power. Step 2. Break it down. Write the fear out. What's the worst case scenario? How likely is it? What can you do if it happens? This is the practice of premeditatio malorum, imagining what could go wrong and preparing your mind for it. Step 3. Take one small action. Fear is loudest in stillness. When you move, even slightly, you reclaim your momentum. Courage is built in steps, not leaps. And finally, reframe it. Every fear is a doorway. Behind it lies growth, wisdom, and strength you didn't know you had. Think about it. Every person you admire, every hero, leader, artist, creator, they all walked through fear. Not because they were fearless, but because they were brave. And bravery doesn't mean you're not afraid. It means you go anyway. In the Stoic view, life's value isn't found in comfort. It's found in the choices you make when you're most uncomfortable. So the next time fear shows up, welcome it, because it's pointing towards something that matters. Face it, question it, move through it. And on the other side, you'll find not just courage, but a version of you that you never imagined possible. Secret 5. Master the present moment. In an age of endless scrolling, constant notifications, and future obsession, one skill has quietly become a superpower: being fully present. Mindfulness isn't a trendy practice. To the Stoics, it was survival. Because without awareness, you're not living. You're just reacting. Epictetus said, "A man should so live that his happiness shall depend as little as possible on external things." But how can you live like that when your mind is always racing to the next worry or replaying yesterday's mistakes? The answer: anchor yourself to the now. Not to escape life, but to fully enter it. We often think our stress comes from doing too much. But often it comes from being mentally elsewhere while doing it. You're answering emails but thinking about an argument. You're eating dinner but worrying about tomorrow's deadline. You're with people but not with them. The Stoic way to reclaim your peace: practice attention on purpose. Here's how to begin. When you walk, just walk. Feel your steps, notice your breath. Be there. When you eat, just eat. Don't scroll, don't rush. Just taste, chew, and experience it. When emotions rise, pause, observe. Don't judge. Ask, what am I really feeling right now? That space between stimulus and response, that's where wisdom lives. Being present isn't about ignoring problems. It's about dealing with them from a state of clarity, not chaos. Because when your mind is grounded in the moment, you're harder to shake. You'll listen better, work deeper, connect more genuinely, and find joy not in the next achievement, but in this breath, this task, this moment. Modern life wants you scattered. Stoicism calls you to center, and the reward: a life that isn't just more productive, it's more peaceful, more intentional, more yours. So if you feel overwhelmed by your thoughts, come back to where you are, right here, right now, because this moment is the only place where life actually happens. Master it, and you master yourself. Secret 6. Choose simplicity and practice moderation. In a world that glorifies excess, more money, more likes, more speed, choosing less can feel like rebellion. But the Stoics saw through the illusion. They understood that freedom doesn't come from having more, it comes from needing less. Seneca, a man of immense wealth and power, still practiced simplicity in daily life. Why? Because he knew that possessions, pleasures, and ambitions mean nothing if you are a slave to them. Simplicity isn't about poverty. Moderation isn't about deprivation. They are disciplines of clarity, a way of saying, I control my desires. My desires do not control me. In today's world, we chase stimulation. We binge information, entertainment, food, ambition, until we're left numb, not fulfilled. But what if the answer isn't in adding more, but in subtracting? Simplicity helps you focus on what truly matters. It clears space, not just in your home, but in your mind. And moderation keeps you balanced, avoiding both indulgence and burnout. Here's how to live this today. Before buying something, ask, do I need this, or am I just avoiding discomfort? Before saying yes, ask, will this nourish me or drain me? Before chasing a goal, ask, is this aligned with who I want to become? Practicing simplicity is not just about stuff. It's about energy. Time is your most precious resource. Attention is your greatest currency. Moderation ensures you spend both wisely. The Stoics believe that the person who enjoys a simple meal, a quiet walk, or a deep conversation is richer than the one chasing endless novelty. Because when you stop being distracted by excess, you can start paying attention to what really matters. Your relationships, your values, your growth. Think of it this way. If your life is a garden, moderation is pruning the branches so the roots can grow deeper. You become more centered, more consistent, and paradoxically, more fulfilled. True success is not about constant escalation, it's about sustainable alignment. So choose simplicity, not because the world tells you to slow down, but because you choose what pace gives you peace. Choose moderation, not to avoid life, but to fully engage with it on your own terms, because in a noisy world, the quiet strength of a disciplined soul will always stand out. Secret 7. Accept what you can't change and rise anyway. Life doesn't always go as planned. People disappoint you. Plans collapse, illness strikes, opportunities vanish. And when it happens, your first instinct might be to resist, complain, or ask, why me? But the Stoics teach a different path. Don't resist life, respond to it, with clarity, with courage, and with calm. Epictetus wrote, "Do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, want them to happen as they do happen, and your life will go smoothly." That's not passivity, that's power. It's the difference between drowning in the wave and learning to surf it. Acceptance doesn't mean you like what's happening. It means you stop arguing with reality, so you can use your energy to move forward, not fight the past. Here's the truth. Suffering doesn't come from what happens. It comes from wishing it didn't happen. Think of every moment in your life that broke you and then built you. Think of every closed door that led you somewhere better. Think of how many things you once feared that became your strength. That's resilience, and it begins with radical acceptance. In practical terms, here's how to apply this Stoic wisdom. Pause before reacting. Instead of "why is this happening to me?" ask, "what can I learn from this?" Zoom out. Will this matter in 5 years, 5 months, even 5 weeks? Perspective is everything. Choose response over resistance. What small step forward can I take right now? Acceptance doesn't weaken you, it frees you. Because once you stop wasting energy on wishing things were different, you gain the strength to deal with them as they are and shape what comes next. In a world obsessed with control, those who master acceptance become unshakable. They bend without breaking, they adapt without losing themselves, they rise without resentment. So when life throws the unexpected your way, don't fight the storm. Stand firm in it, feel it fully. Learn what it came to teach, and walk forward, a little wiser, a little stronger. Because the Stoic doesn't just survive what happens, they use it to become who they were meant to be. Secret 8. Master your emotions before they master you. We live in a world where emotional reactivity is normalized, where a single comment can ruin your day, where news headlines hijack your peace, and where comparison fuels insecurity. But the Stoics knew something we're just starting to rediscover. Emotions are not your enemy, but left unchecked, they can become your master. To the Stoic, emotions are signals, not commands. They arise, they whisper, they scream. But you get to decide, will I react? Or will I respond? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you." And that's the secret. No event, no person, no situation can disturb your peace without your permission. Here's what emotional mastery looks like today. You get a harsh email. You pause before firing back. You feel jealousy creeping in. You notice it, name it, and let it pass. You're overwhelmed. You breathe deeply instead of spiraling. Modern life constantly tries to pull you out of center, but Stoicism pulls you back into your breath, back into your awareness, back into the quiet strength of not being controlled by temporary feelings. This isn't about suppressing emotions, it's about understanding them so they can guide, not dominate. Ask yourself, what triggered this feeling? What belief is fueling it? Is it true or just a story I've told myself? The Stoics believe that wisdom begins the moment you pause. That tiny space between stimulus and response. That's where freedom lives. And in that space, you can choose clarity over chaos, growth over reaction, and courage over comfort. It's not easy. There will be days when you feel like a storm inside, but the practice is in returning to calm, to control, to character, because the strongest person in the room isn't the loudest. It's the one who stays composed when others collapse. It's the one who breathes before breaking, the one who speaks with intention, not impulse. Emotional control isn't cold, it's powerful. It allows you to lead yourself before trying to lead the world. And that's what the Stoics understood. If you want to master life, begin by mastering you. Secret 9. Lead with justice. Live with integrity. In a world driven by self-interest, shortcuts, and social masks, there's one Stoic principle that will never go out of style. Justice. To the Stoics, justice wasn't about punishment. It was about living rightly. It meant treating others fairly, acting with integrity, and contributing to something beyond yourself. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest emperors and philosophers, wrote, "If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it." Simple words, deep impact. Justice begins in the small moments. How you speak to someone who can't offer you anything. How you show up when no one's watching. How you choose what's right over what's easy. And make no mistake, in a culture obsessed with status and self-promotion, choosing integrity is radical. It's not flashy. It won't always win you followers, but it builds something far more valuable: character. Here's how to bring Stoic justice into the modern world. Pause before judging. Ask, am I being fair or just reactive? Give generously without keeping score. Hold yourself accountable. Integrity isn't about perfection. It's about alignment between values and action. The Stoics believe that justice is a virtue that ripples outward. When you act with fairness and honor, others are inspired to do the same. You raise the standard quietly, consistently, powerfully. You become someone people trust, someone people turn to, someone who leaves every room better than they found it. This isn't about being a saint. It's about being responsible for your words, your impact, your presence. It's easy to be kind when it's convenient, but real justice shows up when it's uncomfortable, when telling the truth costs you something, when doing the right thing doesn't come with applause. The Stoics didn't seek admiration. They sought alignment, and they knew a peaceful mind is the reward of a just life. So ask yourself each day, did I act with fairness? Did I lift others or step on them? Did I lead with courage or hide behind silence? Justice is not just a law, it's a lifestyle. Live it, and you won't just change your life, you'll help change the world around you. Secret 10. Reflect daily to strengthen discipline. Every day, the world demands something from you. Speed, opinions, reactions, results. But the Stoics knew, before you give yourself to the world, you must first return to yourself. They practice daily reflection, not as a ritual, but as a necessity, because clarity doesn't just arrive, it's created. Seneca once said, each day we should call ourselves to account, not to punish, but to understand, not to criticize, but to course correct. In our modern world, we move so fast that we rarely stop to ask, did I live according to my values today? Where did I act from strength and where from ego? What lesson did the day offer if I'm willing to see it? Reflection is not about perfection, it's about awareness, because without self-awareness you become a slave to your patterns, but with it you become a sculptor of your life. The Stoics believed that your character is built one choice at a time, and daily reflection sharpens the mind like a sword, cutting through the noise of impulse, fear, and distraction. Here's how to build this habit today. Evening journaling. Take 5 to 10 minutes to review the day. What did you do well? What would you do differently next time? Morning clarity. Set a brief intention for who you want to be today, not what you want to achieve, but how you want to show up. End with gratitude. Even the smallest wins matter. Recognize them. Discipline doesn't start with grand gestures. It begins in these quiet, consistent moments where you choose awareness over autopilot. When you reflect daily, you build a relationship with yourself. You become your own guide. You start noticing the patterns that hold you back, and more importantly, the ones that lift you up. And in a world that's always rushing you forward, this act of looking inward is what truly moves you ahead. Remember, it's not just about doing more. It's about doing what matters and becoming someone you respect in the process. So pause. Look within and let each day be not just a routine, but a step toward mastery. Secret 11. Detach from what owns you. In a world that constantly tells you to have more, want more, chase more, the Stoics offer a radical truth. Freedom begins when you stop being owned by what you think you need. They called it detachment, not in a cold, uncaring sense, but in a deeply empowered one. Seneca, who had wealth and power, still practiced living simply, not because he had to, but because he wanted to prove to himself that he could live without anything and still remain whole. You see, what you cling to has the power to control you. That car, that title, that relationship, that expectation. And when life threatens to take it away, you panic. Because somewhere along the way you didn't just own it, you let it define you. But what if you didn't need the world to give you meaning? What if you could find peace in what is, not just in what's next? Detachment doesn't mean renouncing everything. It means relating to things differently, enjoying without needing, loving without clinging, pursuing without depending. Here's how to practice it in real life. Notice where your identity is tied to stuff. Are you still enough without it? Release expectations. Replace "this must happen" with "this may happen," and "I'll respond either way." Let me know if you need anything else. Embrace impermanence. Everything changes. That's not a threat, it's an invitation to live more presently. The more you let go of needing everything to go your way, the more you start to enjoy life as it unfolds, not as you demand it to. You'll spend less time worrying and more time living, less time grasping and more time growing. Because the Stoic path isn't about owning less, it's about being owned by less. And the result? Strength. Liberation. You move through life lighter, calmer, and unshaken, even when plans fall apart or the world shifts beneath your feet. So ask yourself, what am I holding so tightly that I'm afraid to lose it? And what would happen if I simply let it go? Sometimes the greatest power isn't in acquiring, it's in releasing. Secret 12. Take bold action, even when it's hard. In today's world, it's easy to feel stuck, overwhelmed by options, paralyzed by pressure, silenced by fear of failure. But the Stoics believed something simple and powerful. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's action in spite of it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." But power means nothing without movement. Knowing what to do is not enough. Thinking about it, planning for it, talking about it, none of those replace the one thing that changes lives: doing. Modern life can make us overthink everything. What if I fail? What if it's not the right time? What if I'm not ready? But the Stoic response is this: start where you are. Move anyway. Because clarity comes from action, not waiting. Here's how to live this principle. Break inertia. Do one small thing that scares you every day. Detach from outcome. Focus on effort, not results. You control your input, not the applause. Reframe failure. If you fall, you learn. If you hesitate, you stagnate. Courage is not a personality trait, it's a practice, built moment by moment, decision by decision, when you choose progress over perfection and commitment over comfort. There will always be reasons to wait. There will never be a perfect moment. But there will always be this moment, and it's all you need. The Stoics didn't believe in passive living. They believed in engaged presence, showing up fully for the life in front of you, even when it's uncertain, even when it's hard. Especially then, So ask yourself, what's one thing I've been postponing out of fear? And what would my wiser self, the one I'm becoming, do right now? Then do it. Not because you're guaranteed success, but because courage is who you are choosing to become. Action is the soil where character grows, and the world doesn't need more spectators, it needs more brave souls willing to begin. Secret 13. Live with purpose, guided by virtue. After all the lessons, the reflection, the inner work, there is one final Stoic truth that ties it all together. A meaningful life isn't found in what you achieve, it's found in how you live. The Stoics taught that virtue, not fame, not wealth, not comfort, is the highest good. Why? Because no one can take it from you. Because it's the one thing that is fully within your control. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but he wrote to himself daily about kindness, justice, wisdom, and courage. Why? Because he knew that who he was mattered more than what he ruled. Purpose doesn't have to be grand or dramatic. It doesn't have to be a mission statement or a master plan. It begins with how you treat people, how you show up when no one's watching, how you hold yourself when things fall apart. Your character is your compass. And in a world full of noise, distraction, and pressure to be someone else, your values are your anchor. So ask yourself, am I living in alignment with what I say matters to me? Do my choices reflect the person I claim to be? Am I leading my life or just reacting to it? The Stoics believed that if you want a great life, don't chase one. Build one, moment by moment, with honesty, with discipline, with heart. Here's how you begin. Choose your core values and revisit them often. Let your actions speak louder than your goals. Live so that you respect the person you see in the mirror. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need to be intentional. Because in the end, it won't be the titles, the trophies, or the followers that define you. It will be your integrity, your courage to act rightly when it was hard, your daily effort to live by principles, not by pressure. Live with virtue, lead with purpose, and you won't just have a good life, you'll have a meaningful one that leaves a mark no storm can erase. You've just explored 13 timeless Stoic secrets, not as abstract philosophy, but as tools for real life. Because Stoicism isn't about sounding wise, it's about living wisely. It's about showing up in a chaotic world with clarity, facing uncertainty with calm, making decisions from values, not ego, and transforming ordinary moments into opportunities for strength, integrity, and purpose. The truth is, you don't need to remember every single principle. You just need to start living one of them, consistently. Whether that's mastering your emotions, embracing simplicity, or acting with courage, even when you're unsure, these aren't just ideas. They are daily practices. They are disciplines that forge the person you're becoming. In a time when most people are reacting, rushing, comparing, you have a choice to slow down, to reflect, to lead yourself from within, because that's the heart of Stoicism. Not control over the world, but control over your worldview. Not waiting for the perfect life, but becoming the kind of person who creates meaning, no matter the conditions. So if something in this video resonated with you, don't let it stay as inspiration. Let it become transformation. Practice it, live it, and pass it on. Leave a comment below. Let us know which Stoic principle hit home for you or how you're applying it in your life. Your insight might inspire someone else. Share this video with a friend, colleague, or loved one who could use a dose of clarity, strength, and Stoic calm today. Because we're all on this journey together, and the more we grow, the better we all become. Thanks for watching, and remember, your peace, your power, and your purpose, they've been within you all along. Stay strong, stay grounded, stay stoic.